Hi, my friends. It's another edition of Nic Leobold Live. I'm Nic Leobold, obviously, and I'm live during this recording. And the recording is not going to be live, but I'm live right now while I'm making the recording. And anyway, that was a little bit of humor to lighten your day. The title of this video is All Taxes Are Always Bad. So I want to talk about taxes, and I want to talk about why all taxes are always bad. And basically, government cannot do anything right. And most of what, well, a lot of what government does in terms of building bridges and handing out welfare checks and building schools, sick, supposedly, SIC, in parentheses, because government schools are a disaster. Government welfare is a disaster. But basically, a lot of the things that government does, it does through, so-called raising money through taxes. And government is force. The state is force. Government is violence. Um, Basically, because if you don't follow their so-called laws, they come and put you in a cage, and if you resist, they clobber you over the head, or they shoot you, etc., etc. So, government makes up these arbitrary laws, and if you don't cooperate, they'll put you in a whatever, a 9 by 6 cage or whatever it is, or they'll shoot you or kill you or beat you up, et cetera, et cetera. So, economically, we've learned that that economies are successful in direct reverse proportion, converse to how large the government is. So the smaller the government and the less taxes you have, the better your economy will do. And you can just look at places like Hong Kong and the Russian Federation. I think at least 20 years ago or 15 years ago, they had a 10% income tax, a flat 10% income tax, and their economy and their country is growing much more healthily, albeit with all the sanctions that the West is putting on them. Their economy is growing a lot more healthfully than America and the Western economies. So economies like Hong Kong, Switzerland, maybe Singapore, because they have such low tax burdens on their citizens, that frees up all their citizens' money to be productive in investment, trade, shopping, and to keep the money in private hands of the citizens. Government always wastes money. Because they have no incentive to save money. Governments have no incentive to save money and no incentive to watch how they spend. So governments always use their money inefficiently. They always use their tax money inefficiently. So by definition, my point is in this video is by definition, all taxes are always bad because the government is a violent force for evil, mostly. It coerces and forces against people and exerts violence against the people. And so any money it gets is a negative for every country. And so by definition, the less taxes there are, the better. And by definition, all taxes are bad and all taxes are evil. So I don't think I'm doing a very good job in this video right now of expressing myself. Maybe I need some more orange juice, or maybe I need a hamburger or something to, to loosen my spirits, my animal spirits. but uh, but I hope you're reading my point clearly, which is that economic history shows, and like for instance, the United States, or the America in the 19th century, when we had no income tax, when we had no social security tax, no withholding taxes, and a much smaller government, that was the most vibrant economy in world history. The America in the mid to late 19th century, the most successful, most vibrant economy in world history. America wasn't perfect. We had a lot of problems. We had still had racism. We still had some industrial unjustness or unfairness, but overall, we had full employment. We had people could keep what they earned. Very low regulation, and we had practically no taxes. Practically no taxes. Furthermore, the entire tax system of the modern America and the modern West is a complete scam. It's just ripping off the low income, working class, and middle class to subsidize the people in power and their rich friends and their rich cronies. And everyone would have much more of an incentive to work and make money and be productive and be healthy and happy if they could keep all of their money. And people say, well, who would build the roads? Well, who except the government would build the roads? But the roads, roads were created without the government. When towns and villages and cities rose up, the roads were created naturally in the dirt and the grass and the fields. The roads were walked on and rolled over by the carts and the trucks and the cars and the animals and the people walking. The roads were created without the government. And now the government paves some highways, but all the highways and all the roads and streets could be paved privately. So we don't need the government running bad schools. We don't need the government inefficiently building roads with money that people can't give up. We don't need a bloated government running Social Security and welfare Ponzi schemes to redistribute money to poor people when poor people are already getting ripped off by all the sales taxes and other, taxes on everything: cell phone service, cable TV service, cigars, magazines, the bloated, inefficient postal service. And don't get me wrong, I love postal workers. Please don't go postal on me. I love postal workers. Please don't take out your pens and go postal on me, because I love my postal workers. But the postal system has its problems. Let's be honest. Let's be honest now. You don't have to go postal. Anyway, my point being that by definition, by economic definition, all taxes are always bad. And if Paul Krug bitch or Krugman or whatever he calls himself, Krugalian, Paul Krugalian, or Janet Yellow, or Ben Skanky, or Ben Burskink, Ben Burskink, Ben Burskank, Ben Burskanky. If Christine La Bitch, Christine La Jew, Christine La Goo, or Christine Lagarde, or whatever her name is. If these people disagree, well, they're being dishonest, to say the least. I mean, Christine Lagou wears gold jewelry. She believes in gold. But, she claims that the system works. The system is legitimate. Boy, I'm so funny. I'm making myself cry. But, listen, economic history is very clear, and economic reality is very clear. All taxes are always bad because they fund the government, which is violent, coercive, inefficient, corrupt, and unjust, and exploitative, and mendacious, and thefteravacious. Theft prone acious, or theft prone ismacious. But my point is that all taxes are always bad. Economically, this is very accurate. This is economically, historically true. Economically true in the present, and always will be true. Taxes are always bad, all taxes. And we need a small to zero no government. We need a free market, classical liberal economic system. We need to get rid of central banking. We need to have a free market in currency and banking and finance, a completely free market in currency, finance, and banking, as we almost did in the 19th century in America. Go back to look at history now. Be good now. So all taxes are always bad. This is an economic law. It is a existential natural law. All taxes are always bad, period. So that is my lesson for today, children and adults, slow, stubborn, brain-impaired adults, and also the brain-impaired children. I always feel sorry for brain-impaired children as well. There are some, unfortunately. I'm not going to lie about this. A brain-impaired child was glaring at me the other day, and I was thinking, yeah, this is a brain-impaired child. They're not very common, but they happen. And please keep all the brain-impaired adults away from me. And also, please keep those gay pride marchers who are making all this noise in the neighborhood this week and this month. Please keep all those loud gay pride, so-called gay pride marchers with the tambourines and the cymbals and the drums who are parading down our streets here in Manhattan. Please keep them quiet and out of our way. Thank you. I mean, I have nothing against gay bi people. Bye-bye. I have nothing against gay, bye-bye, and queer or other people at all. It's just that, could you please stop being so loud and offensive and noisy and dirty around the neighborhood? Please stick to your own neighborhoods. Just joking. There are some gay people in my neighborhood. I have nothing against them. They keep quiet. It's these other gay people who are coming into the neighborhood making all this noise when they have these gay pride so-called marches. Anyway, that is my lesson for today, children and adults. And thank you very much. This is Nic Leobold Live, and always willing to share some humor when we're discussing serious issues. This is Nic Leobold Live signing off. Have a great weekend. Have a great week coming up and a great month. Good luck, Godspeed, God bless. God save America, God save the Queen, God save the King, etc., etc. God save the Emperor, etc., etc. God bless, Godspeed, good luck. I'll see you next time on Nic Leobold Live. Thank you.